Okay, first and foremost, I want to start off with the true fact, that Ridley Scott is, without a shadow of a doubt, one of my absolute favourite filmmakers of all time, making the best film ever, Alien, better than Aliens, don't contest me on that, or I will fight you. He was born on November 30th in 1937 in South Shields, England. Born to some normal parents, Elizabeth Scott and Colonel Francis Scott, who was an officer of the Royal Engineers. Whatever that is. He also had two other brothers, a younger one and an older one. He was born just before the Second World War, which some people say is not a great time to be alive. He initially wanted to join the Royal Army and follow somewhat in the footsteps of his older brother, who joined the Merchant Navy beforehand, when he was a lot younger. But his dad encouraged him not to, wanting him to pursue his more creative sides, which, thank goodness, he did. On a side note, his younger brother, Tony Scott, ended up becoming an amazing director as well, which I didn't even know about this catalogue that his brother had, with films such as Top Gun, Beverly Hills Cop 2, True Romance, Enemy of the State, Man on Fire, and I mean, that's scraping the surface of it. Honestly, I don't get it. Maybe it's just in their blood to be amazing filmmakers. I don't know. But back to Ridley. It was his uncle who, back then, was the one in the family that had his hand, in the film industry per se. He was considered a pioneer of the cinema chain, opening many cinemas in Tyneside. One of his cinemas that's open in Newcastle at the moment is the last remaining cinema in Britain that still does newsreel films. Pretty fun fact for you there. During his youth, his dad was absent a lot, doing Royal Engineer stuff. And he moved around a lot, going to places like Wales or Germany or just, around England, the UK area. And after the Second World War, he actually ended up in Durham. He lived on Greensbeck Road, an industrial area, which ended up being the inspiration for the visuals in Blade Runner, oddly enough. He loved science fiction, reading H.G. Wells at a young age. He also grew up watching science fiction films, like It, The Terror from Beyond Space, The Day the Earth Stood Still, and Them. However, that burning creative candle didn't spark until he saw Stanley Kubrick's 2001 A Space Odyssey, saying, quote, "Once I saw that, I knew what I could do." He later went on to study at Grangefield Grammar School and West Hartlepool College of Art from 1954 to 1958, receiving a diploma in design. He later went on to study at the Royal College of Art in London, where he contributed to the magazine there, and then later on helped develop the film department in that college. Here he made a black and white short called Boy and His Bicycle that starred his dad and his brother. He'd later go on to work at the BBC, mainly as a set designer. Another wacky fun fact here, he was actually assigned to help design the Daleks in Doctor Who, but unfortunately due to scheduling conflicts, ended up going to that hack, Raymond Cusick, who, did a good job. It was actually here at the BBC where he started directing, making episodes for a show called Adam Adamant Lives. Later in the late 60s, he went on with his brother Tony to create the Ridley Scott Associates, the RSA, which was a film and advert production company. He ended up making adverts during the 70s, most notably the 1973 Hovis advert of the Boy and the Bike, the really famous one. And ever since then, he's continued to, come out with amazing stuff. And talking about the amazing stuff he's come out with, time to go on with the man's filmography. The man has made some absolute bangers in his day. Here are some, notable mentions. The Duelists, his first feature film released in 1977. Then, on to Alien, his 1979 horror masterpiece. Best film in the world, don't contest me on that. He then went on to make another absolute classic, Blade Runner, in 1982. Everyone knows Blade Runner, we all love Blade Runner. He also made Thelma and Louise in 1991. Then, he did Gladiator in 2000. I've got this good friend Will, it's his favourite movie. We'd bicker back and forth. What was Ridley Scott's best? I'd say Alien, he'd say Gladiator. It just went on like that, I no longer consider him a friend. In 2001, he made Black Hawk Down, another absolute classic. 2007, bit of a time jump there, he made American Gangster, great film. In 2012, he made a prequel to Alien, Prometheus. 2015, he made Martian, the Matt Damon film. It's a good movie. His last film that came out in 2017, other than his film All the Money in the World that actually came out the same year, it was Alien Covenant, which was fine. But other than his impressive resume, he's done a lot for the film industry as a whole. The fact that Alien made sci-fi horror something people could take, a lot more seriously. And also the fact that he changed sci-fi as a whole with Blade Runner. The whole look and feel of that film, people have tried to replicate it many times afterwards because of just how amazing that movie is. In 1995, both Ridley and his brother Tony won a BAFTA for Outstanding British Contribution to Cinema. Not only that, he was knighted in 2003 for services to the British film industry. He got an honorary doctorate from the Royal College of Art in London in 2015, and in 2018 he got a Lifetime Achievement Award from the BAFTAs. So, in conclusion, Ridley Scott is an amazing filmmaker, and to this day still stands as one of my biggest inspirations. I only hope that he continues to live a fruitful life and keeps on making incredible films for all of us to enjoy. And how has he not won an Oscar yet? He's been nominated 4 times, for God's sake. Give him an Oscar! Okay, thank you for listening. Have a good one.